Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Mike here today, and today we're diving into the top 3 lists in real estate wholesaling that have consistently generated me millions of dollars in revenue. So despite it being a very tough market, these strategies have never failed me and they will continue to be successful. So connecting with motivated sellers, guys, willing to offer deals at a discount is super crucial. Okay, targeting the person that has a fully remodeled house that bought this 2 years ago, that has no real reason to sell, is not going to be your ideal customer. And my success has really hinged on these types of lists, and they've become invaluable across various marketing channels. Like I typically find this type of seller coming in with inbound channels and successfully getting these under contract with outbound channels such as cold calling and texting. So stick around and I'm going to share with you the list that has generated me the highest return. So anyways, guys, if you're new here, my name is Mike. I started in real estate in 2018 as a sales rep or acquisitions manager for a real estate company. I was the only one at the time, and I scaled that company from $0 to 7 figures within 18 months. So now I kind of share my strategies that propelled me into my success, kind of aiming to help you on your journey, especially if you're first starting out, to get your first couple of deals, to get your feet wet and go from there. So guys, our very first list that we're going to focus on is probate or inheritance properties. Now, this niche is just consistently delivered results for us. The dynamics of inheritance often leaves the heirs or next of kin with properties they're just unprepared to manage, and it's making them a prime candidate for off-market wholesale deals. So, for example, if I own, a primary house or a rental property and I pass away and it goes to my, 3 kids, a lot of them are not interested in managing a rental property. A lot of them are just not interested in cleaning the house up, getting it renovated, and getting it sold on the market. Now, one of the disadvantages with this list is that if there are multiple heirs involved, you're going to have to get everyone on the same page. Typically, these deals are not going to get done quickly. It takes time, but when you do come across them and you can build a relationship with these sellers and the people that inherited the properties, it can be very fruitful and very beneficial and easy for them. So, and also at the end of the video, I'm going to share with you guys the best way of finding these leads. It's not PropStream, it's not batch leads, it's not some fancy AI tool, it's none of that. It's I'm going to give you the best way to get directly in touch with these homeowners before everyone else does. Now, these inheritors also, guys, they often feel super overwhelmed by the sudden responsibility, and they're just way more open to selling at a discount. And this scenario also presents a ripe opportunity for guys like us, especially when approached through cold calling, texting, or targeted PPC campaigns. I've found that a lot of our PPC deals that we would get would come from people that would initially start off with, hey, my Uncle Tommy had 2 rentals, I inherited them, and I have no interest in being a landlord, and they're kind of messed up. There's holes in the wall, the tenants haven't taken care of it, and I have no interest, and I don't have the funding to get this thing fixed up and put on the market. Now, my second list is the out-of-state absentee owner list. Guys, this list has been tried and true since I think the very first day of real estate investing. It's been consistently providing results for us, and I would say one of the best markets to do this in are in states where the landlord-tenant laws are not in the favor of the landlord. So if you have a landlord that's living outside of the state, let's say they own a property in California or Washington, where the tenant in those scenarios own the property, have more ownership over the property than the owner does. The owner isn't going to be wanting to go back and forth, hunting the person down for rent. Typically on the West Coast or maybe places on the East Coast where the landlord-tenant laws are not in favor of the landlord, typically in those states, there's going to be a lot of appreciation, and those homes are worth more than your Midwest or even some, even in the Sunbelt regions, they're worth more than those types of properties. So, it's okay letting a house go instead of selling it on the market after evicting a tenant for $650. I'll take $520 for it right now, right? With no hassle. Some people are willing to do that. And so this does provide huge opportunities for guys like us. To give you guys a quick story, the first flip that we did that really was very fruitful for us, I think we made $147,000 off that flip. It was a physician that was living in Texas. We gave him a call. I think he had this rental for 8 years, and there was a guy living in there, and during COVID, he was out of work, so wasn't paying rent, and out of the kindness of the owner's heart, he said that's okay. He didn't have any debt on it. He didn't have any mortgage on it. But then all of a sudden, the tenant started taking advantage of this as they were as they were coming out of COVID. He took advantage of this and he stopped paying, and he just refused to pay. He wasn't picking up the landlord's phone calls anymore, and it just turned into a huge mess. And then he stopped taking care of the property. So the grass started growing. There was actually a leak in the roof. I think the only communication that the landlord got was the tenant called and said, hey, there's a leak in the roof. I need you to fix it. And so, but he just didn't want to put more money into it if he wasn't going to get a return out of it. And so I suddenly, out of nowhere, it's actually from a text, sent him a text, and he's like, like, yeah, I'd sell it. I want to get rid of this thing. And he sold it at a discount. He didn't want to fly back and forth to the property. And he was already making a bunch of money being a doctor. Like, he didn't care leaving a couple bucks on the table to sell it to a guy like me. Anyways, guys, this is the third list, the code violation list. These properties that are on this list are usually neglected, signaling that owners who may be more inclined to sell at a discount. And this list is a direct line to potential deals that others may overlook. So, for example, that previous deal that I just talked about, that was on a code violation list as well. And this is typically when like the grass starts getting really long, there's a hole in the roof, they put a tarp on the roof, maybe there is a building on the property that's starting to come down and they need to give it some attention and like, so that's typically what happens is like where there's smoke, there's fire. And if someone is not willing or able to pay or upkeep for a property, there's usually a problem. And that's when a guy like me kind of steps in and says, hey, what's going on? I can pay you a large sum of cash for this property so you don't have to come out of pocket to fix it up. A lot of the guys that I work with, other real estate wholesalers I work with, I kind of help guide them on the best way of approaching these types of sellers. How do you talk to them? How do you build a relationship with them? It's not like just getting like your, YouTubing, how do I talk to a seller on YouTube? No, it's like the guys, there's strategic and professional ways of actually engaging these people. If you want to know what it's like to work with me on a little bit more of a deeper level, I have a link down in the description. Go ahead and book a time to give me a call and we'll see if it makes sense to work together. But anyways, guys, the code violation list has worked for me time and time again. Now, where can you find these lists? You can find these crucial lists at your local county. That's the first way to do it. You want to get county records because by the time they're on PropStream and Batch Leads or PropWire or wherever else that you go to get your data, it's been already like several months before it just hit the courthouse. So if you take your inherited list, for example, and it just comes out on Batch, well, all the other investors that hit them up like 4 months ago, they've said no to them already. So now you're just beating down somebody's door that's already said no multiple times. And it doesn't even come down to how good you can sell or how good you can communicate. It just comes down to, are you the first person that's spoken to the seller? Now, you can either do that, or my suggestion is to go to foreclosuredaily.com, and they have people that go to the courthouse and they get these lists for you. So it's raw data. Yes, you have to pay a price for it, but it saves you time on doing it yourself. They typically give you between like 25 and 50 leads per list per week. And, if you're just starting out, I would call those people. There's other methods that I would suggest that I talked about in a different video outside of cold calling at the very beginning. But since we're on this topic of lists, I would take that list and I would call them, send them letters, I would text them. And over the course of 6 months, if you continue to build your pipeline of these 3 types of sellers, I'm 98% sure that if you're committed and you work hard and you're consistent and you're following up and you're having good conversations and you're making relationships with buyers, you know how to transact a deal, you're for sure going to get something under contract. So anyways, guys, focusing on these lists is for sure going to generate some results. It's going to boost your success rate, especially if you're a 1, 2, 3-man shop. Stay away from the free and clear list. Stay away from the divorce list. Stay away from the in-state landlord list. I'm not a big fan of that one either. Expired listings hasn't really panned out. I mean, we've done some deals from there, but like I haven't seen consistent results like I have seen from these 3. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. And if you're looking to elevate your real estate wholesaling game, click that bell because I'm going to be putting more content out like this on a weekly basis. So anyways, transform your real estate journey today. Keep working, keep hustling, keep making calls, keep talking with sellers, keep talking with buyers, and build a business that fits your temperament. So anyways, guys, I'll see you in the next video.